Only one thing is necessary. Christ said, "Whoever does the will of God, he is my brother and sister and mother." Mark 3:35. Many people believe this passage tells them what to do to please God. They engage in many activities in hopes of being saved by doing what they think is God's will. However, no work can save a sinner. Why? Because God demands perfection, and no one except Christ can do anything perfectly. Everything man touches is tainted by the sin within him. Exodus 20:25. The will of God that every person must seek to do in order to possess the one necessary thing in this world and in heaven is alluded to in Christ's statement recorded by Mark. Christ said, "Behold, my mother and my brothers, for whoever does the will of God, the same is my brother and sister and mother." Mark 3:34-35. Christ said this when he was told that his mother and brothers wanted to speak with him. The people he was referring to were doing something that, according to him, meant doing the will of God. What exactly were these people doing? They were feeding on the Lord's words. This is the one necessary thing for two reasons. First, because, speaking of Christ, the Lord said, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." Matthew 17:5. He said this not only in the sense of obeying him, but also because faith comes from hearing his words. Romans 10:17. While visiting Lazarus and his sisters, Christ said to Martha, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things. Only one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good part, which will not be taken away from her." Luke 10:41-42. What was Mary doing? Sitting at the Lord's feet, she was listening to him. Verse 39. Christ said, "Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away." Matthew 24:35. Those who are united to Christ are those who feed on him through his words. Second, listening to Christ, dwelling in his word, following him, in short, feeding on him, as those he called brothers, sisters, and mother do, is the one necessary thing because it means denying oneself and staying attached to Christ despite life's trials, difficulties, and sufferings. Matthew 16:24. To deny oneself and take up one's cross to follow Christ is to worship God in spirit and in truth. These are the kind of worshippers who are pleasing to God. John 4:23. So, dear friend, isn't clinging through his words to the only one person in whom God is well pleased, according to Matthew 3:17, the one necessary thing? Come to Christ.